What started this whole thing where we start telling our daughters that they don't need a man? What started that?
My mama ain't ever told me that. I don't think she has.
I see it all the time, and that's
I think
what
it comes from a lot of mothers just always having to do it on their own. And I guess in a sense I can say, no, you don't need a man. But in a sense, yeah, you do need a man. Yeah, you can go work and you can provide for yourself and your kids. My mama did it. It was a struggle, but she did it.
Right.
But
I think
we need to stop that.
I think humans are social creatures, as all mammals are. Mm-hmm. Like even whales. All mammals are social like that. Like, we're not asexual. We need each other.
Right.
So I think that's just written in our DNA. You could say as God. You could say as evolution, whatever. But I just think it's very irresponsible, and I think it's very counterproductive to tell young ladies, like, you don't need a man. Or to tell dudes, like, just fuck these bitches and keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong. Like, I think I'm going to teach my son to treat a hoe like a hoe. Like, I'm going to tell him that, like, flat out. Don't go loving these hoes, because you're going to, like, don't get me wrong. I learn more from a hoe than I learn from a good woman. Mm-hmm. Well, it's probably about the same. But I learned what not to do from a hoe. Mm-hmm. I fell in love with a hoe a long time ago, and I didn't know she was a hoe. And those are the worst. Those are the worst. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't say respect the hoe, but I give her more of a, like, okay, we could be friends if you just come out and say that you a hoe. I can't stand the ones that try to pretend to be good women and they hoes. Mm-hmm. Like, that's crazy. But I'm going to tell my son to treat a hoe like a hoe, because a hoe can fuck your life up, man. Mm-hmm. Like, men love women more than anything they love in the world. Mm-hmm. It's like a drug. If you let this drug control you, it'll fuck your life up. It's just like women. But I'm going to tell my daughter and my son the same thing. Y'all need, son, you need a woman. Mm-hmm. You need a girl. You know what I mean? Like, you should have a girl. You should have somebody to spend your life with, somebody to get you straight, somebody to set you right. And I'm going to tell my daughter the same thing. You need a dude. Like, I'm never going to tell her, fuck dudes. I mean, to a certain extent, when she growing up or whatever, you don't need a boyfriend right now. Focus on your school or whatever. Of course. But eventually, man, what is this shit? This whole independent, I don't need no, like, what is that? Like, there's tons of, the difference between our women and women that are outside of our race is women outside of our race, they can be independent, but they still go get a dude. They still know how to switch it up. Mm-hmm. Our problem is, I'm independent, and if a nigga ain't bringing this to the table, if a nigga ain't saying this, if he ain't being my robot, I ain't with it. Mm-hmm. Why do you have to be so extra? You can be independent and don't have to do all of that shit.
Right. You can be independent and dependent at the same time.
Right.
I'm a very independent woman. But do you think I ever want to go back to not having my husband there?
True.
Like, no, like, I need him. I need him.
You've always been that way.
Right.
You've always been independent and just very womanly. Like, you have a heart. Like, what's up with these heartless ass women? Or what's up with these heartless ass dudes? Some of these dudes, I'm be sitting back listening to the music. Like, take Future, for example. Mm-hmm. Future really cared for Sierra, but he couldn't even express it, because it's almost like he don't know how. Mm-hmm. Like, the way he talked about females is like every one of them is a hoe.
Yeah.
Like, the way he speak about it is like there is no good women. And to me, that's sad, because whatever he went through in his life made him think that way. Right. That's fucked up.
Right.
But, I mean, take myself, for example. I've been hurt by females several times. There's some really fucked up females out here, man, that really be like trying to use you for your money, try to drag you through the mud. Like, they see that you being nice to them and you treat them right, and they take advantage of it. There's some out here that's like that.
Oh, I know. I've been through the same thing with guys. I don't know. I've been through a lot of stuff, but I'm not going to say every man is bad just because I dated a man that was horrible. And I have dated a man that was horrible. Like almost the devil himself. But I'm not going to portray that onto my husband and be like, you ain't worth nothing just because he wasn't. That's not fair either. You shouldn't do people like that.
I feel you. I definitely feel you.
I don't know what it is. You think they want to do better, be better.
Man, you know why I tell women all the time? I said, man, you know what your biggest problem is and why you have so much relationship trouble is you're not being a woman. It's that simple. Like,
and they probably don't want to hear that coming from a man. A woman
don't like to. Okay, let me ask you this, and this is some a discussion I had at the barbershop. I was like, the problem with, and what I've noticed in writing my book, the problem with women a lot in our community is, how do I say it? Learned behavior is how do I say it? Okay, look, when it comes to nature and learned behavior, a man is always going to go back to his nature. But it's like, since this is a patriarchal world, but black women come from and black men come from matriarchal families, it's hard to kind of find her place in the world. Like, she don't even know how to get back to her nature sometimes. And to me, that's the most fucked up part about it. Like, take for example, a man is going to do certain things that a woman doesn't like in American society. But in other parts of the world, his nature and the way that he behaves naturally is accepted and not even looked at. So our women have been conditioned to believe that, you know, equality means being identical. And that's not right.
It's not.
That don't even make sense to me.
At all.
We're wired completely different. We have different emotions. We have different chemical balances. Like, we go through different shit. We are not the same. And if you wanna disagree with me and say, oh, you just want to do this, that, and other and get away with, no. Go and look at any mammal on this earth. That's our nature. And the way that they conduct themselves is the same. Almost all of them. They conduct themselves the same between male and female. Testosterone is a real thing. Estrogen is a real thing.
Definitely.
So the reason why you have so much trouble is because you're going against your natural order.
Right.
You're not bigger than the world. What do you think about that?
I don't know what it is. I just, like you said, the difference between, even if you just research the effects on testosterone in the male body and estrogen in the female body, even though they're both hormones, they're two totally different things.
Right.
Their makeups are almost like positive and negative on a magnet. Totally different. I don't know where we got away from that, and I don't know why it's so hard to get back to that, because I feel like me growing up, my biological father almost never in my life, my whole life, and I want the exact opposite for my kids. I said that I wouldn't have babies until I got married and there was a stable father figure in the home to set order, to keep order, and to protect and provide and all of that kind of stuff. So I don't know. I don't even have an answer for you.
Right. I said in my book, I'm trying to quote it perfectly, but I said, telling a woman or a little girl that she can do anything that her heart desires, she shouldn't have limits on her boundaries and all this other stuff. The motivation behind that speech to incite motivation and work and to incite a fire up under her has burned her greatest assets to the ground. Everything about being a woman, if you embody that too much, you burned your greatest assets to the ground. We are opposites. But we're the same, but we're opposites. Like, it's the yin and the yang, like I say all the time. We need each other. Mm-hmm. It's like a plug in a socket. You know what I'm saying? We need each other. So why would you shut that off, and why would you adopt male tendencies and try to be a man? Right. Like let's say every dude try to be a woman. I mean, role reversal is happening. Women are going after beta males, and they running away from alpha males. Mm-hmm. But you take a traditional, normal female, and then you take a male and have him adopt all female traits. Put them together and see how that's gonna work.
It's not.
She gonna detest him. She gonna push him away. She gonna be like, "What the fuck wrong with you, man? Get the fuck away from me."
Right.
She's gonna be turned off. But it's the same with males. Like, you take a male and then you put this woman that's so, quote unquote, I won't say testosterone filled, but she act like she got testosterone. Mm-hmm. And she's adopted all these male traits, and she behaves like a man and all this other shit. Mm-hmm. And she's very combative. They just gonna bump heads.
Right. Constantly.
That balance has shifted. And that's something I don't understand. And a lot of times in our community, our women are very dominant. They come mm-hmm. with they have a lot of male traits. And if a man is not going to be a beta male, which is a more sensitive, mm-hmm. weaker version of a male, that's just going to tell her whatever she want to hear. If a man don't do that, she can't deal with it. Because she's mm-hmm. been taught for years that that's what she's supposed to go for, and that's what a good man is. But that's not a real man. Not. Mm-mm.
Mm-mm. And, I mean, you can be an alpha male and still... I feel like... I want to say you can be an alpha male and be in touch with your emotions and stuff.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Alpha males are in touch with their emotions and all of that. Even my husband, like, he's so loving and cuddly when I need him to be. He's firm when I need him to be. If I'm getting out of line and he needs to put his foot down, he'll do that. Or if I'm fussing too much, he'll be like, "You better go sit downstairs and watch Grey's Anatomy or something."
And that love is towards you,
right?
Like where it's supposed to be,
right?
That's the way we're wired as alpha males. We're supposed to love our women.
Right.
Completely. You know? I mean, like, take, for example, you take lions, for example. A lot of times, male lions, when they come in and they take over a pride, they'll kill off the young, or they'll kick out the adult males. Say, go figure it out. But they don't do that to the females. They protect the females. Mm-hmm. That's our first thing. Like, that's our first duty in life. That's what we do. But, like, if you look at the situation, we're very protective, and we're very, what's the word? Fucking, territorial mm-hmm. about our women in our situations. Yeah. Women by nature, they're not wired that way.
Right.
But through being around men, and like I said, I had this conversation, through being around men and adopting a lot of the natures of a man, because this is a patriarchal world, they adopt our views.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same as when a black man adopts when he says success is doing everything that a white man does. You know, wearing a suit, climbing the corporate ladder. They attribute the way that we talk to them. If you talk, then you smart. You talk like them. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When that's really no real gauge for intelligence.
Right. At all. I know some very, very extremely intelligent people that talk just like me.
Right.
Or talk black or talk hood, whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
But don't always use proper English. Don't always pronounce the R's on the end of words and stuff. Yeah. That has nothing to do with it.
Yeah, man. That balance is what we need to get back. I just want to see a world where women, no matter how upset she might get off her learned behavior or what she was told growing up, no matter how upset he might get or how emotional he might get, he don't act out like a female. I want to see them just try that for 6 months and see if it don't make their relationship better.
It will. It really will.
Salute you.